If your clothing and apparel brand's generating over $1 million per year and at least 30% of your revenue isn't coming from emails, you're probably leaving six figures on the table every single year. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video, how to prevent your brand from leaking hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual revenue. Bit of background info about me. My name's Lazar and I'm the co-founder of Reception Digital. We're one of the largest email and SMS marketing partners in the clothing and apparel industry. We don't work with anyone outside this industry. And the reason we did this is because we wanted to figure out and crack the code for what really works and what doesn't in this industry in particular. So this is what's kind of made us stand out and know what we're doing. Now, here's some screenshots of our results. These screenshots aren't to flex revenue. They just show what happens when email's treated as a system and not just as a drop megaphone. And here are my socials if you want to check them out as well. The reality check. If your company is doing over 200K per month and email isn't generating 25 to 35% of your revenue, that means you're leaving six figures on the table every single year. And most fashion brands just use email to announce drops, but the brands that are scaling past 500K per month treat it like their most valuable asset, and in this video I'm going to explain how they do it. Now, where the money actually leaks. I'm going to go over four main places revenue leaks in bad retention systems. The first one, sign-up forms. Poor conversion rate equals less people getting funneled into email backend, which equals less potential revenue. The second one is the welcome series. This is where your potential customers get their first impression of your brand. If you leave a weak first impression, they lose your trust and no second purchase, or they might not even purchase the first time, who knows. The third one is abandonment flows. Most brands don't add enough emails in their flows and they think they don't want to annoy their customers and stuff. But trust me, if your emails are engaging and entertaining, people won't mind getting multiple emails. And the problem with not having multiple emails is you don't address all of their objections, which is why they left the cart in the first place. And this equals lost sales. Now, the last one is campaigns. Most brands only send campaigns when they have a drop or sale, which is a big issue. And I know the majority of people are guilty of doing this. So only sending when you drop means that your list is going to get unengaged eventually. And if you're sending to unengaged list, you pretty much have a dead audience and you're sending campaigns for no reason. So leak number one, your sign-up forms are underperforming. Now, the majority of people underestimate how powerful high converting sign-up forms actually are. And I'm going to do the math here just so you could really visually see what you're missing out on if your sign-up forms aren't converting high enough. Most brands get 1 to 2% sign-up conversions on their pop-ups. High performing brands get 10 to 15%. I'm going to do the math and you could see what the difference is. Let's say you have 50,000 monthly visitors on your website and your sign-up forms converting at 2%. That means you're getting 1,000 sign-ups every month. And if 10% of those people convert through your welcome series at an AOV of $100, you're making $10,000 a month or $120,000 per year. Now, if your sign-up forms converting at 10%, you're getting 5,000 monthly signups. And if 10% of those people convert through your welcome series at an average order value of $100, you're making $50,000 a month or $600K a year. So $600K a year, whereas the sign-up form converting at 2% generates $120K. That's an extra $480,000 a year just because your sign-up form was optimized to convert high. So what does a high converting pop-up form actually look like? There are a few key steps to making high converting pop-up forms. You want to optimize your time delays. Anywhere from 5 to 8 seconds works the best in my opinion, but you want to test it for your brand and see what works the best for you. The one thing that I really suggest you don't do is have it where the pop-up form shows up as soon as the customer enters the website. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because if you hit them with a pop-up form right off the bat, the customer just feels like you want to sell them and you don't really care about them. And the majority of the time, they won't even read your offer. So even if you have the best offer in the world, if you said, hey, everything's free today, but it shows up right away, most of the time people are just going to exit. I'm guilty of this as well. You just exit the form right away because it's super annoying. Now, you also want to make the offer big and bold. The offer is what incentivizes the site visitors to sign up to your email marketing. So if the offer is not big or visible, there's a high chance they're going to exit out without even reading what the pop-up form says. Now, the third one is including a micro commit into your pop-up forms. This step has shown some of the best results for us. If you don't know what a micro commit is, it's this thing right here. So instead of just hitting them with enter your email to claim 15% off, you hit them with you unlocked 15% off, claim discount. There's no input fields or anything. They first have to click a CTA to take them to the next step. Now, the reason it works so well is because you're not asking them for too much right off the bat. And once they do click this button right here and get taken to the first input field, they feel like they've already done so much, and why would they just give up when they've already gotten to this point? Now, this is one of the most important steps as well. You want to optimize individual designs for mobile and desktop so they convert higher. Now, what I mean by this is you don't want to have the same pop-up form for mobile and desktop, because if you only have a mobile pop-up, for example, if someone opens your website on their computer, the dimensions won't be the same and it's going to get all messed up, which is why you want to have two individual ones. And in the form settings, you want to check off show on mobile only for the mobile one and vice versa for the desktop one. You also want to have only one input field per step. So what I mean by this is you don't want to have a pop-up form where you ask them for both email and SMS in the same step. It feels like you're asking them for too much at once and they're just going to end up leaving the form without filling either in. So what you want to do is show your email or SMS one first and then the next one after. You also want to change the copy a bit. So for example, enter your email to claim 15% off. Then when they submit this, the SMS one can show enter your phone number for early access, for example, or enter your phone number to confirm your 15% off, something along those lines. But you want to change the copy and don't have two input fields in one step. Now the last two kind of tie in together. You want to remove the X in the top corner, and in the form settings, you want to turn off click outside form to close. The point of this is the customer won't have any other way of leaving the sign up form unless they click this button down here. But once they read what the button says, they're going to think to themselves, why would I pay full price when I could get 15% off? We've also tested both variations, and making your pop-up form this way converts way higher, trust me, but I suggest you test it for yourself as well. Now, once you have your pop-up form up and running, you need to A/B test the pop-up form relentlessly because this is where the real money is made. Here are a few tests that you can run right off the bat. The first one is time delays. So this means how long the customer is going to be on the website until the pop-up form shows up. 5 or 8 seconds performs the best, but you want to test it for yourself. Design variations. So you want to test a plain pop-up form versus a design heavy pop-up form. So for example, a background image or an image on one side and then the input on the right side. Test different ones, see which one converts the highest. Test different offers. So instead of 15% off, you can test $15 off, see what converts better. It's all about the tests. Now finally, you want to test copy variations. For example, instead of saying you unlocked 15% off, you could say, would you like to claim 15% off? And you want to keep testing and optimizing until the form is converting at least 10%. If it's already converting at 10%, great. Keep testing so you can bring it up to 13, 15, sometimes even 20%. Now the second leak is your welcome series is leaving money on the table. Most brands are sending 1 to 2 welcome emails and then giving up, but you should be sending at least 5 welcome emails. Your welcome series is your first impression. It's when your customer's attention is the highest as well as their purchase intent is the strongest. They signed up for a reason. If you can't get them to convert now, it might be harder down the line. So you want to set the best impression right off the bat. But most brands don't take advantage of this because they treat their welcome series as a discount delivery system rather than building a relationship with the customer right as they sign up. Here's how you should set up your welcome series the right way. So the customer enters their email and gets funneled into your welcome series. You hit them with the first email right after they sign up. Send them the discount if that was an incentive for them signing up. Set expectations for the brand. For example, tell them what they're going to be getting for signing up, what your brand's about, just kind of set the tone for the brand, and then a clear CTA to shop. Now the second email, you want to nudge them to use their discount. You want to go over what makes your products different. You want to build perceived value before they buy. And you can do this by adding reviews or UGC content so they have some social proof. Now the third email is founder or brand story. You want to go over why you started this brand, what you stand for, and you really want to make it personal so the customer could connect on you on a deeper level. Because at the end of the day, what you really want to do is build a relationship with them and sell emotion, not just clothing. Now the fourth email is about your brand in real life. You want to go over your flagship store if you have one, team introductions, behind the scenes, and really give them as much raw content as possible just so they could see that you're not just some random online brand like everyone else. The fifth email is style guide and how to wear your clothes. UGC content, outfit inspo. You want to send them as much content as possible so they could see how other people wear your clothes, and you do this to remove purchase hesitation so they could see that other people actually do wear your clothes. Now the last email that converts really well in my experience is the sixth email, which is a text-based campaign from the founder. The founder's thanking them for signing up and you want to remind them about the discount one last time. You could also change the sender name to the brand founder's name. It gets higher open rates. You could A/B test that. The whole point of this is to build a relationship with potential customers, educate them, and establish trust early on in their journey. The discount incentive is what gets them hooked right off the bat and funneled into your welcome flow, but the way you portray your brand and the kind of relationship you build with the potential customers is what gets them to buy. Leak number 3, your abandonment flows are too generic. One abandonment email is not nearly enough to pick up on lost purchases. You personally know how easy it is for your emails to get buried in customers' inboxes. Now, what actually converts in fashion and apparel? You need at least 4 emails in your abandonment flows because clothing and apparel purchases have specific friction points. First one being fit concerns. Will this actually fit me? We all go through this, just debating whether or not you should buy a hoodie because you don't know how it fits. Material questions: is this going to be good quality? Is it going to be comfortable? Price justification: is it really worth $200? I don't know. Your abandonment flows need to automatically eliminate each objection. Here's the 4 email sequence you need in your abandonment flows. Browse abandonment can include 3 emails, but checkout and cart definitely need 4 minimum. The first email, 30 to 60 minute time delay. This is just a reminder. You want to include a dynamic product block. Simple CTA, keep it clean and simple for the first email. You don't want to do too much right off the bat. Email number 2, 24 hours after sending out the first email. This is where you start objection handling. Address fit concerns, size guide. Let them know if it's true to size, if it fits big, small. Customer reviews, this is a really big one. And also a really big one that's worked really well in our experience is including frequently asked questions in the abandonment email. The reason it works so well is because it handles multiple objections at once, and what you should do is include a CTA at the bottom of these FAQs, and the CTA takes them to your website with all of your FAQs, so this way they could see 10, 15, 20 frequently asked questions and eliminate all their objections. Now the third email, 48 hours after your second email, you want to send a text-based email out, but you could A/B test it with a design one as well, see what works best. But in my experience, a text-based email works really good. You want to make it super personalized and make the customer feel special. Position the email with some sort of incentive. For example, if you place an order now, we'll get it shipped ASAP. Free shipping on orders over $150. You just want to push them to purchase as much as possible. Here's an example of one that's had an over 7% click rate for one of our partners. Hey Lazar, I'm the warehouse guy that packs and ships all of brand's orders. I'm just wrapping up work for the day, but I saw that you added something to cart a few days ago and didn't purchase. I'm not sure if you just got distracted or something, but I just wanted to reach out and let you know that if you place an order now, I can get it shipped ASAP. Then a dynamic link that takes them to their cart. Also, just a reminder that we offer free USA shipping if you spend over $150, so we threw in an incentive in there. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us here, contact page on the website from Brand. This has genuinely been one of the best performing flow emails that we've ever put out. If you want to steal it, go ahead, it's right here. You're going to make so much money using this. Now the last email, 48 hours after the third email, this is the final push. Here you want to push as much urgency as possible, so low stock, prices going up, etc. Social proof, reviews, comments on Instagram, whatever. Final objection handling, so mention free returns if that's what you do, exchange policy, and also a small incentive if margins allow it. So you could add 10% off if they place an order in the next 24 hours. This really pushes them to purchase ASAP. Now, where most people mess up is they think that clothing and apparel is the same niche as supplement and self-care. It's really not. There's different friction points, and I'm going to go over them now. Supplement brands can spam abandonment emails in a short period of time because it's a logic-based purchase. Clothing is different. People purchase off emotion and if it's practical. So if I'm buying protein powder, it's either do I need it or do I not need it? But for clothing, you want it, but you're not sure if it's going to fit. You're not sure how the quality is. And this is why you have to get rid of all those objections. They also need time to think about how it fits in their wardrobe, what they could wear with, imagine themselves wearing it, justify the price themselves, or even show their friends and ask for their opinions. That's why abandonment emails, especially the last few, have a multiple day time delay before hitting them with more emails. Last but not least, your campaigns are killing your list. Most clothing and apparel brands only send out campaigns when they have a drop or sale, which is the completely wrong way of looking at it. If you send only a few campaigns a month, your deliverability score will eventually start to plummet. It's inevitable, it happens to everyone. And once your deliverability score gets too low, your emails will only hit spam and promotion folders. And at that point, you're sending out emails for no reason because no one's opening them. To keep a good deliverability score, you want to start off by sending campaigns to a 30-day engaged segment and keep expanding it as the metrics are improving. So start off with 30 days engaged, move up to 60, 90, etc. This is the best and simplest way to improve deliverability right off the bat. But here's the thing, you spend thousands of dollars on content creation to build community, social media, meta ads, but you treat your email marketing, which is your only own direct communication channel, like it's just a drop megaphone. As a fashion brand, your whole goal is to build a relationship and community around your store so people are buying with emotion. So why aren't you doing the same with your emails when it's one of your only direct communication channels that you actually own? It can't get banned or taken away from you, and a place where you can build relationships with your customers. The point I'm trying to make is that you don't need to sell every email. It gets boring. You need to be interesting. You should aim to send around 2 to 3 emails a week regardless of whether or not you're dropping something new. And I promise that if you're sending interesting and engaging emails often, people won't be unsubscribing. Here are some high engaging campaign ideas that you could send out to your list. For example, UGC content. seasonal styling guides, 5 ways to wear a certain item, design process walkthroughs, photo shoot behind the scenes, location-based campaigns. So for example, if you have a store based in LA, you could send a campaign to everyone in a 100-mile radius of that store. And you can also collect customer profile property information and send them targeted campaigns based off that. So for example, style preferences, favorite colors, gender, price sensitivity, favorite category, etc. Now your immediate actionable next steps should be building out a campaign calendar for the next 30 days and sending out 2 to 3 campaigns per week. And you should aim for 1 promotional campaign for every 3 non-promotional emails you send out. And just to show you that we actually stick to this rule as well, here are some cool engaging campaigns that we sent out that did really well actually, because we're not just selling in these campaigns. Now here's the first one. This is the founder of Hypeland, and we did like a cool New York Times style campaign. It's like a newspaper, and at the bottom they have some products as well. This one's like a cool Google search where you search up what are the best anime basketball shorts of 2025, and it looks like a Google search result, so AI overview, and then they showed this brand's products. And the last one is a Spotify Wrapped style campaign. Here we went over how many drops they did this year, favorite collections, and this one was really cool in my opinion. Now finally, why in-house teams plateau. In-house sounds great until your team is responding to the business instead of building email systems. They're focused on upcoming drops, last minute campaigns, trying to figure out why their emails aren't converting and why they aren't visually appealing either. And real email growth doesn't just come from just a one-time setup. It comes from constant testing and iteration. So testing sign-up form incentives, flow timing, and even long-term tests that sometimes take months to mature. The point that I'm trying to make here is that testing is where the real money is made, but testing in depth takes time, and in-house teams don't always have that. And the biggest disadvantage that most brands don't realize is that you don't have cross-brand pattern recognition. What I mean by this is in-house teams only see their brand and their audience, whereas professional email partners work across multiple apparel brands and live inside of Klaviyo, so they know what works and what doesn't work better than any in-house team. Now your next steps so that you can add an extra 6 figures in revenue this year. Start off by auditing your Klaviyo account and check what your attributed revenue is from email. If it's not at least 25 to 35%, then you have some work to do. Optimize your sign-up forms to convert at least 10% or higher. Dive into your flows, welcome and abandonment flows in particular, and make them more engaging. Add more emails and handle any objections that potential customers might have. And finally, you want to build out a 30-day campaign calendar and start sending more engaging campaigns, not just announcing new drops going live or when sales go live. Now, if you want to take this fully off your plate, book a call with us to see if your brand qualifies to work with us. There's going to be a link in the description. We could also give you a free audit, so worst case scenario, you leave with a free audit and some actionable steps you could implement yourself. If not, I'll see you in the next video.